Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for the brand new video. And apologies right off the bat, today's video is probably going to be all over the place, but this right here isn't going anywhere, troops. We are here to react to Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1 with the Scottish League Cup, the final trophy that eluded us football club after our journey back through the depths of Scottish football has now been secured as the baldy Belgian magician has came in and oversaw a complete change in personality, attitude and more importantly form as he picked up a team that was clearly on their knees and only gone that way and added and installed his kill or be killed mentality as he not only oversaw now what is an undefeated start as Rangers manager, but he's came in, qualified as top of the Europa League group where that looked laughable to even suggest that or try to even think that when he was actually appointed. The gap that everyone was saying it's -9 outside wrap up for Christmas and he's wrapping up no. Your arses are starting to nip, and now at his first time of asking, his first big game, big cup final, Clement has delivered. I need to start right there. I need to praise that man because none of this emotion, none of this joy that we're feeling is happening without that man being in charge. And I know he's trying to play it down and he's trying to play it coy, but that's just a masterclass in management and what he's done for these mentalities. And again, we still need to bring in players. We are still going to be bringing in players. We're still going to be moving on players whose time is truly up and who has again rubber stamped the last 3 managers exiting this football club. So that's coming in, but this is what he's been able to do with what he's actually got, and full credit to him. The way he's delivered is sensational. If my Hermes drivers, who's delivering some of my Christmas presents, were half as good as Clement, I wouldn't sit here with sweat dripping down my brow. And where I need to sit here and praise Clement, I also need to praise a couple individuals, and we're going to go to the goal scorer. We're going to go to the guy who's got the biggest magnifying glass on him every single time he moves, every single time he plays. He's the most criticised athlete in Scottish football, and that is none other than James Henry Tavernier. That's right, I middle named him, troops, so that means you know I'm being pretty serious. So go ahead and strap yourselves in as we talk about the skipper who today scored his 115th goal for Rangers. That's right, I said it, 115. People from the old right back spot. And what's beautiful and what's telling us, everything does have a story and everything does have a meaning. His 115th goal for this football club secured the Scottish League Cup that we're all enjoying and being happy and about, and that not only is a tremendous achievement and made us all very happy, but it does tick off the last trophy he needed to win as Rangers skipper to complete the set. He now, as Rangers captain, won everything there is to win domestically. Also took us to a European final in which he led the competition in terms of goal scorer, and that's leading for the front, becoming the first defender since Coleman to win the Golden Ball or Golden Boot award, I should say. And then last but not least, troops, he also has 112 assists to his name. His legacy at this football club, I know people say what they want to say, and I've had to be critical in certain games and certain performances because yes, he's getting older, he's not up and doing as much, and that's a credit again to Clement with the way they're now using him. He's not bombing up and doing anywhere. No, he's gone forward and cutting inside and playing more almost as a third option for the middle of the park, but again with that licence when he feels it's time to go forward. He's not constantly backing down anymore, so it shows great management for Clement and Tavernier since the change and since tweaking his positioning and obviously his demands per game has not only started answering his critics from earlier in the season, he's laughing right in their faces as he's putting in some of the best performances he's had in a very long time in a Rangers shirt. And I absolutely love that the laddie goes ahead and does it because again, I can't imagine the weight of wearing that armband. Truly, during these years and during the periods, we know where we've been, we'll not go through it all again, and we know the head and the advantages Celtic's had for years and years and what that man's had to take to carry that weight constantly and to be this and always be the fall guy. He's a better man than me, and what he's done mentality wise is sensational, and I'm so pleased and I'm so grateful that it was him that gets to have this moment, because not only does it complete the journey for Rangers, but for me it completes the journey for the Rangers skipper. So James Tavernier, you've done it again, son, and we thank you kindly. Now, apologies, I do feel my voice starting to go a little bit. It was a very long day, a very stressful day, but I want to touch on the last little player here and speak about leadership and leading the line, etc, etc as well, because to me there's different ways to lead in a team and in a club or whatever you're actually doing. You can be vocal, you can be loud like this next guy I'm going to speak about, or you can lead by example, and that's what Tavernier does. I know he's no the drill sergeant that some of us want us to be on certain occasions, but he leads by example, and 115 goals, 112 assists. I mean, that there is an example that everyone should be striving towards. But again, where I feel like he's been benefiting as well, by the way, is someone else who has well and truly stepped up to the plate in my personal opinion, and that is the name of John Lundstrom, who, in my opinion, leads the more vocal way, the more old school way, as he just screams at people, demands more, and for me, he has been the keys to this Rangers machine since Clement has came in. He's no longer having to babysit the back two and go into a back three and be completely void of that and miss the game completely. No, he is the driving force, and I thought sitting beside Sterling, who was also fantastic in this game, but I feel like you need to give a lot of credit, because if you're paying attention, who's talking to Sterling, who's playing in a position that's alien to the laddie? It's Lundstrom. So I think if you look at the two of them, that there is where this game was won. Tavernier's goal was great, I loved it, and I will watch it 75 times more tonight, possibly 77, I might just go that far. But I'm talking about what won us an ugly, stinking cup final. It was the engine room, and for me, that was Lunny and Sterling. And I guess I can move away from individuals, because you'll hear a couple of them as we go on, because I want to talk about the game, because was it a showcase of the Immortals? Was it a phenomenal game of football? No, and certainly no. We knew it, we spoke about it yesterday. Cup finals are never a nice name, a cup final, you know what I mean? In fact, we're going to talk about one that hurts us dearly, because we have watched a cup final of us creating chance after chance and playing some of the best football, and we got beat due to an offside goal. Now we go into this game, and was it guff to watch? Aye. Was it Sayre on the ticker? Aye. Was a lot of lump ball and poor standard football? Aye. But you know what? We lifted the trophy. So do I care about anything else? No, I didn't. I'll take winning an ugly game of football and lifting the trophy rather than playing good football and carving, creating chances and losing it any day of the week. And I think some of the standard is again a little reminder to us as we are enjoying the moments and enjoying Clement's journey so far as Rangers manager. We are nowhere near where we want to be and what we want to achieve, everything like that, when you look at our squad and some of the players in there. So again, it's a nice wee reminder, but is it no nice to be reminded of our shortcomings while also lifting trophies? That's what we've done in the past. We overcame certain individuals and lifted trophies, and now we've got a manager who can do that tactically spot on, and we've got players who are clearly believing in to this laddie, despite again being down to bare bones in terms of injuries. So I said proud in my last reaction video versus Real Betis because of the way we fought and we got stuck in, and for me that is right there, because we know what Aberdeen actually is. They're a big physical side who care more about Rangers than anything else. And I think it'd be really, really lazy to just say, oh, Aberdeen never turned up, or Bojan was a ghost during the game and that never gave them a spark. You could go this way, you could go that way. But for me, I look at the last 3 games versus Aberdeen. Obviously the scudding, we know what happened in there. The disappointing draw that we were fuming at, by the way, and the goal we conceded in that game and in this cup final. And what you can see under the 2 management games from Clement, every mistake we made in that 1-1 draw up at Pittodrie was completely nullified. They tried 7 times in the opening 4 minutes of a game to hit slap down the middle of our 2 centre-backs, trying to replicate the goal that they got. The last time, 7 times in the opening 4 minutes they attacked the middle. But if you watch the positioning of our players, the likes of the Goldsons and Balogun, who I thought had a phenomenal day dealing with the aerial threat, we completely nullified them at all. And for me, in a managerial sense, Clement coached and managed completely in circles Robinson, because every time he tried to do a move, it was honestly like sitting watching Magnus Carlsen, if you know, you know, just plot his journey. So I am giving credit to Clement constantly, but you can't look and reflect in this game. As ugly as it seemed, we just took every single bite that they had, and you can see what you want about Aberdeen. They have got danger men, they did get that, but we smothered the light that did happen in the last previous 2 games. And the biggest game that mattered out of all 3, they came up short because big Phil Clement. But I guess I should stop talking around the game and get into it then, because if we're talking about highlights, it won't take us too long. Again, it was long ball City. It was hard to see because of all the flares and the smoke, and imagine at home it was hard to watch because some of the football was sore on the eyes. Long ball, long ball, long ball. Again, any fan for elsewhere clicking the game on wanting to watch a wee bit of a cup final would have turned it off very quickly, but for those who stayed, we saw how sore it actually was. But cup finals are always tough and always ugly, especially in Scottish football, and I felt throughout the first 45 minutes we did have a wee half chance here, a wee half chance here where the ball maybe fell to Dessers, but it was really good defending. We had McCausland having a couple headers attempt. We obviously had young Ross McCausland putting the ball in the back of net, but it was given as a foul that, I mean, it is a foul. He's leading with his elbows. It's soft, aye, but they were right to rule that goal out, as painful as it actually was to see. It was a 45 minute that really went by that I sat back and went, yeah, that's two teams keeping one eye on no losing the final and leaving it for the second half. So it was all about who grabbed control. We can look at the first half and say we dominated this, we dominated that. That for me didn't matter, as both teams for me again were watching and waiting for the second half. And for me, 5 minutes into the second half, I sat back and went, we are winning this, because when it started to get hotter, when the game started to get a bit more scary, who was the team that looked like capable of winning the game? It was, of course, us. But before we do move on to the second half, I just want to bring up two little things, people. One, the first one, how did Shinnie not get booked and sent off about 4 times the day? The guy must have done about 7 or 8 challenges before he was booked. It was honestly pathetic refereeing. And, you know, I saw people complaining for the Aberdeen side about the referee. Shinnie could have been sent off 4 times the day if the referee was doing his job. But as usual, the hammer thrower gets away with throwing. The second thing that I need to talk about is big Phil Clement putting on a cap. We love the nod to the channel, Big Phil. But again, let's leave the cap wearing to this guy and you manage and pull the puppet strings like you did in the second half, because as soon as you took the cap off, we started to perform and we lifted the trophy. So that was it. You might have noticed it, but aye, Phil, thank you for giving the cap some love. But despite a bright start to the first half where we were creating chances, I mean, Lundstrom playing a beautiful ball in behind to Barisic, where his pullback tries to pick out Dessers, but it's nowhere near enough. And despite Dessers running down the left hand side, throwing his man with a shimmy, great strength, then a wee dummy as well, sending the Aberdeen boys to a cleaner. I'm getting Real Betis throwbacks, but it's ending up being a phenomenal save by Big Ruse and the goalkeeping. Despite that, Aberdeen nearly grabbed the lead with a very dangerous cross that you could maybe look at the centre forward, but the ball's literally bending like, I don't know how he puts it in for that angle, but all it was complete warning signs to this Rangers team that we cannot give them an even inch out wide, or they could hurt us. And aye, that was a big danger moment, but thankfully we heard the sirens as again we responded with big moment after big moment, and it started to become a moment of when we were going to score rather than if, and that's a much better position to be in a cup final. Cantwell, who again was a little bit iffy in the first half, started to really show his influence in the game as he started to get involved a lot more. Nice little 1-2 with Dessers, playing in to Ross McCausland, who hits another 1-2 into Big Dessers, but unfortunately it's actually great defending by Nicky Devlin as he gets there just to stop young Ross from getting on the score sheet, as it looks like it's a brilliant bit of football starting for Cantwell, getting into Ross, getting into Dessers, playing it back to him, but we were robbed a phenomenal goal in this cup final thanks to a good bit of defending and of course the save for Roos. But it was continuing. Ross again gets on the ball after Lundstrom wins it in the middle after Sterling's chasing down Shinnie like he was mad at the grass. He just ran after him, Shinnie, and it was like, what is that? Who's that? Is chasing me constantly? I've never heard of him before, but he wore them like Christmas pyjamas. And now he goes to Lunny, to Ross, sorry. Ross then hits a beautiful through ball to Cantwell, who's wiped out. It's a free kick, we're all starting to say. And I'm sitting again, I'm with the mindset, I'm like, I know it's his 115th goal coming up. Wouldn't it be a moment if it was Wouldn't it be a moment if it was Tavernier? He's hitting it, it's That's the exact moment and movement that I actually had. But to be fair, it's another great save. And then Ruse does make another save from a Barisic free kick. But you know how I feel about those. And if I'm honest, it was gone wide. So if we'd have scored for that corner, it would have been an absolute mistake by the goalie. But pressure. It was coming. And then the substitution happened that probably needed to happen. Ross did have the ball in the back of net, did create a couple sparks, but some moments of the game, especially physically, I think the game got a wee bit away from him, but he's a young lad, he's going to learn. Great cameo in a cup final. He is withdrawn, and right away, Hampden, Scott Wright jogs onto the park, and you're starting to get a little bit excited because that's more pace, that's more directness, and right away, I mean, Scott Wright's first involvement is to take a ball down, hit a shot that does hit the chest of the Aberdeen centre-back, goes out, VAR's looking at it, I don't know why, it clearly hit his chest, but from a throw-in, back-to-back games we end up scoring for a throw-in, but it gets even wilder than that. Follow me, Alice, as we go down this rabbit hole. We chuck it. Barisic is on the left-hand side. I'm saying, who's back there to get the ball back? Because he's going to turn around and pass it. Barisic takes his man on for the first time since 2019. And he runs his man and hits one to the back post where it hits Tavernier. And I think, does he bring it down on the chest? I'm sure he does. And then he volleys it into the ground, fullback to fullback. It's just like the great old times. Barisic just took on his man. And one of the few times that Tavernier did get into the box, he times his run immaculately. And again shows he's the best finisher on the actual park. And 115th goal, we've already mentioned it, but what a goal to win a cup final. And it was good to see Barisic flash back to his older self. That's what used to do so much, and that's what drives us crazy, Barisic, because you've got it in your game, son. But you didn't do it often enough, but you done it right there, and that's what we talked about. December was about getting every last bit of juice out of the players that we think will be moving on in the near to future, and Barisic has provided a phenomenal assist to his other fullback and delivered a cup. So all around, massive claps. But as you know, we like to talk about things that maybe didn't get noticed, especially if you're just watching highlight reels, and I want to pull it back to 60 seconds before we've put the ball in the back of net. Follow me on this journey. Duke has the ball down the left-hand side. He's caught us out of position. He is sprinting down the left-hand side, and out comes Lunny out of nowhere, and he doesn't foul him, doesn't pull him down, doesn't give him an option to dive, which he will do very shortly if you keep watching the video. But Lunny in the 72nd minute, for the halfway line, all the way down to the left channel, to win that ball cleanly. He then passes it forward. That does create the Scott Wright shot that wins the throw and that gets it. These are the moments, and that's why I give Lundstrom praise. You can't just look at the A and the B. How did it get there? And Sterling and Lunny, they just had done so many of them. No matter when we put the ball in the back of net, I'm pretty sure if you scratch the tape back long enough, you'll see either Sterling winning the ball or Lunny, and that's why I have to give them credit. And truly, I've seen enough about John Lundstrom now. I know his contract's up at the end of the season, but for me, you can say what you want about him, but Clement clearly rates him as a key figure in this Rangers team, and he's done nothing to disappoint him in the 14 games that Clement's done. In fact, his influence is getting bigger, his fitness, his leadership, his screaming, demanding more. So if there was one in that Rangers team that needs a new contract, it's him. For me. And where I'm talking about one midfielder, I'm going to talk about the other by the name Sterling, because what I loved here, right? We scored. Pandemonium. Aberdeen are now rip roaring. If you look at it, what happens 20 seconds after they take the kick-off to try and get back into the game? Sterling drops one of them absolutely stone dead with a phenomenal challenge that probably was a foul, but was it a yellow? Was it a red? No, but it was hard, tough, and that is setting the tone. We've done that all day, and the physicality in the middle, hopefully that pings off, because that there, again, just won the game, and it just stomped every fire that Aberdeen done. I can't really speak it or talk it more into is that is what won us the game. Those little individual moments, and let's remember Sterling has just came here. He's barely kicked the ball. He's playing out of position. He's chucked into a cup final because every other centre mid's injured. And to put that performance is simply sensational. And if you're picking a man of the match, Lunny, Sterling and Tav, obviously with the goal that he scored, it's a tough one. Good luck picking it. I'm not going to pick it until the end, because honestly, I'm not sure. But something I am sure of. We talked about Lunny should be getting a new contract. Seema, we need to do whatever we need to do to permanently keep this laddie, because I'm going to take you to the 87th minute of the game. They've made a lot of attacking substitutions. The boy kicks the ball beyond Barisic. He's burnt him. He's absolutely burnt him. And out of nowhere, Seema not only eats up the ground to catch up with him, he then hits a phenomenal slide challenge at the edge of our box to win us the ball, stop the cross when Aberdeen's got 8 men in the mixer. And not only that, he gets right back up, wins us a foul that frustrates Aberdeen players and starts having them lose their head, but more importantly keeps composure on us. And that there is so underrated, and it won't come any stats or statistic or any highlight reels here, there or everywhere, but we've got people buying in to this football club and running their arse in to the ground, and Sima was a perfect example where, again, did he get in the end of it? Did he do enough maybe with the ball in terms of putting the ball in the back of net? No, the day he didn't score, but you can't fault these guys' work rates. And again, you've got him, you've got Lunny, you've got Sterling, you've got Tavernier, you've got these boys demanding it on the park, and that trust me, goes a long way. Speaking of long way, I would walk a long way. I'd walk 500 miles just to walk by this guy, make eye contact with him for 2.2 seconds. Jack Butland. Never had a big save to make. Never needed to rely on this or a penalty save or a big moment. But every free kick, every dangerous position in the last 10 minutes of that game, who put his body on the line and won every single 50-50 up in the air ball, and who killed the game stone dead for us? Jack Butland. Again, it's no sexy, but the guy is big, handsome Jack Butland for a reason, and the composure, the coolness he brings to that back line. What a goalie. By far the best goalie in this country, and honestly, I wouldn't pick too many of them in terms of English football, and I really, really mean that. We have won a raffle bringing this laddie here. And that sums up the last minute for me. The very, very, very last attack in the game ended up being a free kick that was dangerously put into the mixer, but Butland ends up falling on top of it as Duke dies for the third time in 15 minutes. He was on the park for 15 minutes and dived 3 times, arguably 4, but I think there's maybe just the slightest pull that you could maybe give him. But we talk about Kyogo, we talk about Cantwell, that's all the press wants today. But is there a biggest attempted cheat in Scottish football, or a bigger attempted cheat in Scottish football than that laddie right there? Because he's got talent, he's very technical, he's got something about him, clearly you can see it. But I've never watched an Aberdeen game where I've not seen this guy dive at least once. Yet you didn't hear announced. Cantwell's got an entire mob chasing after him every single incident he moves it. Is he smiling enough? What's his hairband today? What's this? What's this? What's this? Oh, it's because he's fell there once making contact. Yes, it's been dealt with. Clement has dealt with it. Are we going to get the same for Duke? As he's attempted to dive and cheat 3 times in 15 minutes. But no one, I'm sure, will say anything, and you'll probably not even see it linked or tweeted or clipped on social media. But can you imagine if it was Cantwell, just how big and how popular that story would be? It's frightening, it's embarrassing, but aye, that's it for Duke, and that's what caused the spark as Balogun standing over him, calling him a cheat. There's a wee bit of shovey-cuffs as the centre-back is trying to get involved because he's trying to protect Duke, which I understand. There's a wee VAR check for violent conduct, but it's no a red card or anything. Let's just get on with the game. There we are, lifting trophies. Ranger Football Club is back, baby. Meltdowns all over the shop. People are scared. We are building slowly but surely in the right direction. There has been one trophy available to win as the 17th of the 12th, 2023. We have won it. Now it's time to turn our sights on the others, and that's all I've truly got to say of the game. And I'll kind of laugh when I saw Barisic and Sima cuddling so much at the end of the game, and I can understand why. Imagine having that protection doing that side with the likes of Sima. If you're ever getting in trouble, if you're ever getting burnt, the big man's there to help him, and that's it. There's a togetherness now. You can see people buying in, and I loved this result. I'm actually going to keep this video short because I just want to see what you're saying. I just want to see some happy vibes and see some happy comments. So let me know who stood out to you. My man of the match, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to give it to Lunny, but Sterling's a close second for me. Arguably, give it to both of them. In fact, I will, because that's what won us this game. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below. And as always, I've been Siege over 92. We have just finished talking about the Scottish League Cup champions. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye-bye.